How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was in market conditions, or you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. Why should you never tell a taco a secret? Because they always tend to spill the beans. Not too bad. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN. We saw that there was a lot of volatility on Friday, a lot of stocks that were selling off, and I know you guys want to hear the update, what's going on, and what do I possibly see happening going into next week. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action, knowing support, knowing resistance, and the moves we want to look forward to going into next week, and just in case it decides to pull back even further, levels to look out for. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. We got everything updated since I decided to do the video on the Saturday instead of the day on the Friday, because I usually don't get the updated Fintel numbers, so I'm going to be excited to share that with you. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to see were institutions loading up on shares on Friday while it was selling off. We're going to find out. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some details as well. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $7.15, being down 2.85%. On the low, it tested $7.14, and then on the high, testing $7.48. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 4.135 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 5.919 million shares. So we just had a little bit below average volume, but again, we did a fairly good job holding up due to the fact the way how Friday actually ended. Now, the chart that I'm using is a 1-year daily chart. When we take a look at the RSI down below, you can see it's right around 47.25, so we're almost close in the middle, but we are still in the oversold territory. Now, when we take a look at our chart here, we're going to see our moving averages. We continue to have strength above the 200-day. We are below the 100-day, but as you can see, we are below the 21-day EMA, which is an area that I really like, and as well as the 50-day. So we ended up having a pullback towards the end of the day, but we can see we hold up some support here right at this $7.14 level. You can see clearly this has been an area of support in the past when it does pull back. So it's good to see that we're maintaining that consistency and strength. So as far as going into next week, I want to see us being able to continue to hold up this $7 range. We didn't test 7 on Friday. We tested 7.14. So if we do end up testing 7, I'm looking forward to seeing some strength there. As far as where I want to see OCGN get back up to, I'd want to see it come back to challenging this area of resistance at $7.48, and then making that move to get above it to that move to $7.50 before seeing we'll have some resistance here around $7.66. We should be expecting some news from WHO sometime next week, so I feel like if it ends up being good, and especially if we end up getting that approval, it could definitely get us moving towards the upside to get back to that $8 range that I've been talking about for quite some time, and we already know there's going to be a lot of selling pressure here, and it's definitely a key level to keep an eye on. So let's see how next week turns out. So we're on Fintel. We're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, the short shares availability is at 950,000, updated 9 minutes ago, and the short borrow fee rate is at 2.98%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 8th, it was at 58.48. The close for the 9th, it was at 43.42, and now the close for the 10th being at 50.78, which was the Friday. So it's definitely gone up quite a bit, but what it does tell us clearly, OCGN does have short squeeze potential, but what this also does tell us that there's a lot of negative market sentiment, and I'm not surprised that bears wanted to pile on with their positions due to the fact we did have quite the pullback on the market on the Friday. So let's see how things are looking like going into next week. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we can see here on the inflows at at 5,545, and then on the outflow it was at 5,820. So we ended up having an outflow day. So we see zero on the large for both. On the medium we had 3,424, and then on the small we had 2,121. On the outflow side on the medium we had 3,698, and then on the small we had 2,122. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see we have all zeros down the board, no large scale orders whatsoever on the 10th. So taking everything in mind, institutions did not load up on shares heavily for OCGN. We did end up having a lot of selling that was happening, but of course this happened with many other stocks, but you can clearly see there are also a good amount of inflows. The difference between the both of them wasn't that huge whatsoever, so that tells you there's still a lot of demand for OCGN shares, and of course we are not surprised due to the fact we are awaiting this WHO approval, and many people just wanted to take advantage of the price action and making sure that they're getting in a good deal. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and as well as going over some more details. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I'm going to be very curious about the price action we're going to be seeing next week. We saw on the Friday there was a lot of selling pressure amongst growth stocks, medium cap, small cap, big cap stocks, the whole market as a whole. Is this going to be continuing? This is something we're going to have to find out, and if it does decide to continue, this is where I want to see OCGN being able to hold up that $7 range. If it doesn't hold up $7, like I talked about inside of the technicals, there are certain areas that you need to look out for. You can check that portion of the video if you haven't done so already. Now, as far as for the WHO approval, we are expecting to hear something soon. If we don't end up getting it for the week that is coming, then I'm going to look forward to actually seeing some sort of an update for the week after. We have to continue to be patient here. I know many of you don't want to hear that, but hey, that's just the reality of it all. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, we could see shorts are definitely continuing to be heavily vested inside of this play. So there is going to be a lot of volatility, and just know as far as for the market sentiment, it is fairly negative. So with all of that said, this is why it's very important that you're doing your homework and you're doing your due diligence. I'm also getting a lot of questions saying, well, Dre, is there going to be any room for covaxin? We have Moderna making strides. We also have Pfizer making strides, and so on. And you know what? I feel that COVID is not going to be going anywhere. Biden has talked about this, also as well as Dr. Fauci has talked about this, that you know what? This is going to be something that we're going to have to continue to make sure that people are getting vaccinated. So I feel as long as we have that, or as long as COVID is actually around, covaxin can thrive in this area. But we do know, as far as for the WHO approval, it is very important because there are many countries who haven't accepted it as of yet. And once they are able to actually accept it and it gets that recognition from WHO, then things can get very interesting, and we can look forward to seeing some strong moves in overall price action. Another thing also to go over, as far as for the market is concerned, when you're seeing your stocks pull back, many people are like, oh my gosh, this is frustrating, why is this happening? Instead of reacting that way, it's an opportunity for you to actually buy stocks that you like and you have high conviction in. You want to take advantage of getting into your positions, or even adding to your positions when you see corrections, when you see crashes, or when you see big time pullbacks. The reason why this is important, then when the market picks itself back up and it starts to begin to run, you can start realizing gains very quickly. And I want to make sure you're getting in the habit of that. Again, there's a saying that I've said on this channel many times already: be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. And now we have an opportunity that we could have taken advantage of on the Friday. I know for sure I did so myself, and I could see even more volatility due to the fact we are going to have some updates in regards to tapering towards the end of the month. But you guys already know I'm going to keep you inside of the loop. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.